Hey guys, can you believe it's day 5? We are at the end of our challenge for today. I hope you've enjoyed your time with me and have really kind of felt the benefits of Pilates. That's enough chit chat, let's get to it. Today we have full body flow. So standing at the back end of your mat facing your runway. We're going to start off with a roll down as we normally do. So bringing the feet under the hips. You're up tall through the spine, relax your arms, relax your shoulders. Take a breath in. And breathing out, nodding chin into your chest, rolling down into your fold, keeping the belly lifted. Breathing in to hold the bottom. Breathing out, you're going to press into the feet and you're rolling up. Lengthening through your spine, take a breath in. And breathing out, rolling forwards. Keeping balance through your feet, breathing and hold. And breathing out, rolling back up. And one more, breathing in. And breathing out, rolling your way down. This time you're going to stay down there. You can bend the knees as much as you need to here. You want to bring the hands to the floor. Right, nice big handprints. You're going to walk yourself out into a plank. It might take about 4 or 5 steps. And once you're there, you can bring the knees under your hips. So, from here, we're going to come into a little twist. The hand closest to your screen is going to support your head and neck. And now we're going to rotate in, elbows connect, and then you're going to rotate out. Push the floor away to help you open up the chest. We rotate in, and push the floor away, rotating out. So starting to warm up through the spine a little bit. And breathing out, and in. Starting to layer in all the Pilates principles. And let's do one more on the side. Big breath in and float your chest. And now come on back to center, reset your all fours, and let's swap sides. So you're going to rotate in, elbows connect, and then rotate out to the side. And rotate in and out. Being mindful of your head here, making sure that the head is pressing back into your hand, so you stay quite long into your spine. Grounded arms still pushing the floor away. And don't forget your breath. And let's do 2 more. And 1 more. And come on back to center. Right here, we're going to go straight into quadruped, so making sure you're still in your neutral spine. Your head is in line with your shoulders. Opposite arm to leg, we're going to slide out on the floor and then come back in and swap sides. Out on the floor and coming back in. Making sure that your hands return right back under your shoulders and your knees return right back under your hips. We're going to try and keep the shoulders and the hips square to the floor here. There's no rotation. And once you're feeling steady in the body, you might find a little bit more lift. So you slide out along the floor and then keep lengthening to lift, touching down, and you return to your quadruped. Then we swap sides, sliding out along the floor, find a little lift, and then touch down and draw everything back in. Now, watching out for your body here. Right, so the higher the legs go, the more the back wants to dip. So try and keep the belly lifted and engaged, so giving you support into your low back. Now let's do one last one here. And we're going to come all the way down to our belly. So lower yourself down, arms are out to the sides. Now just have a look and make sure that your hands are in line with your shoulders here. Your hips are heavy, So we sink down into the floor, your legs are heavy and relaxed, so there's a tiny little lift of your belly drawing up and away from the floor. Let's just play around with the shoulder blades a little bit. So you're going to slide the shoulders up to your ears and then slide the shoulders back towards your hips. And up to your ears and down to your hips. Just allowing your shoulder blade to move really fluidly, really freely. Right, now once you have a little bit of a play with that range, you're going to slide the shoulders down towards the hips and you go to about the point where your neck feels really long. So I don't want you to feel like your shoulder blades are jammed down to the hips and you're forcing them down, right? But just that sort of neutral position. Once you are there, we're going to take a breath out to float the arms up, and then we breathe in to lower down. And breathing out, float the arms up, and breathing in to lower down. Now I'm doing both arms here, but if this is a little bit too challenging, you're welcome to just do a single alternating sort of pattern instead. So there's no extra lift into the torso. What you want to feel is the shoulder blades sliding in towards each other, right into the center of your back. Right, next one you lift, you're going to hold it up the top. Right, now we're going to turn through the chest. So you're going to turn the chest towards your screen, and now we're going to turn the chest towards the back. And to the screen, and away from the screen. Right, so your chest is the one that's turning here, and when your chest turns, your arms come along for a ride. So I'm not actually leading with the arms here, I'm leading with my body. However, my arms are still lifted, so you get quite a lot of work into your back. And if you don't want to turn your head and look to the hands or the side that you're rotating towards, you're very welcome to keep the eyes looking straight down to the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, you can push on back to child's pose, so hips to heels, and let your arms relax here. So they might be extended, you might stack them, you might even wrap them around the legs. And when you're ready, rolling yourself up. And you're going to come over to your side. So your elbows directly under your shoulder here, you are square to front, and you're going to draw up through the waist so we're not collapsing into the shoulder. Your bottom leg can stay bent, and the top leg is the one that you're going to work. Right? So we're going to flex the foot, pressing out through the soles of the feet, and that will help to give you that little bit more length. This top hand, you can see where you really want it. So you're going to fold at the hip, you slide forwards, point your toes, and sweeping back. And you flex to kick forwards, point, and sweeping back. Flex, forwards, point, back. In, and out. In, and out. Now notice that my body isn't rocking and swaying here, so I'm trying to keep my corset switched on. Guys out there, you won't be wearing a corset. I don't know, it's obviously up to you as to what you wear at home. But you want to feel like your waistline is wrapping in and hugging into your spine. So that's a universal feeling for boys and for girls and non-gender identified. And 3, 2, next time you kick forwards, you're going to hold it there. Now here we're going to lift straight up and lower down, and up and lower. Now you're going to lift as high as your hips can stay stacked. Right? What I mean by that is no rolling back of the hips, You're going to keep them super still, and if you need a little bit more feedback, you can do what I'm doing with the hand and just sit it behind your hip. That way you'll know if the hips are starting to roll or not. 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to slide your leg all the way back, point your toes, so your leg will be reaching behind your body, and we're going to do the same thing. Up and down, and up and down. And again, being mindful of your hip alignment, and now also any flaring through the ribs. So keep the ribs drawn in. Breathe, because you're going to need it. 3, 2, 1. Leg is in line with your body. You're going to do tiny little circles. The thigh leads the way. The rest of the leg is just following on. Change direction, back the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right, come all the way up. And I've just kind of taken the legs out to a Z sit. And we're just going to do a little mermaid. Just to counter. And just to have a second for the legs to recover. So you should feel like the weight of your hip wants to come down. There's an anchor there. So now you're just going to draw the ribs up and away from the hips. And release. And let's bring the legs around and do all of that on the other side. So forearm is down, elbow under the shoulder, the bottom leg is bent, the top leg is extended, and it's about hip height. Remember that you're going to need to draw the bottom waistline up and away from the floor, so no slouching, because we always want to stay in a nice alignment for Pilates. Foot is flexed. Now we're going to follow the hip. You're kicking forwards, point your toes, and sweep back. And flex, and kick forwards, and point, and sweep back. Flex forwards, pointing back. Beautiful. Breathing in. And out. In and out. So once again, paying attention to what's happening in the body as well. So the body has this tendency to counter sway, right? And you're going to try your best to keep the body super still. If that means you need to go a little bit smaller or slower with your leg movements, then by all means take that option. Leg is still up at hip height. Hopefully it's starting to kind of drop down, so if you can lift it back up. 3, 2, hold the leg out in front, keep the foot flexed, and we lift up and lower, and up and lower. And again, watching for any rolling of the hips, we keep them stacked and steady. Just going to add on just that little bit more fire for your bum. 3, 2, 1. Slide your leg all the way back and point through the toes. And again, lifting up and lower down. Now watch any flaring of the ribs. So again, the body kind of wants to fan out here. So you're going to keep everything drawn in. And breathing, drawing the waist away. And 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg back to the line of your body, and you're going to do little circles. Again, thigh leads the way, the rest of the leg follows on, so it's not the hips and the whole body and everything. You'd be tempted to roll, but we're going to stay strong. Change direction, back the other way. And 3, 2, 1. Yes. So you're coming back into your Z sit. Just kind of let the hips sink down towards the floor, even if they're not perfectly level. And we come up and over, just for a little release. And you make your way onto your back. Right, so let's get a little bit of belly work going on. You're going to float one leg up to tabletop, and then the other leg comes up as well. So knees are over the hips here, just feel the weight of your thighs sink down into the back of the hip socket. Arms are just resting by your sides for now. We're going to add on in a sec. So let's just start with the toe tap. So you're going to unhinge from the hip, tap the toes down, and come back up, and then swap sides. Tapping down, and up, down, and up. So notice that my knee angle stays the same here. It's not a leg extension, so that's these ones. But we're not doing those today. I want you to bring the movement into the hip itself. Now at the same time, you're watching out for your pelvis and keeping the pelvis really neutral, because the hips do want to rock here if you let them, and you start to kind of feel this pulling and arching of the low back. That is not what we want. So if that's you, make the movement a little bit smaller, and you may not be touching the floor, and that's okay. 3, 2, 1. Right, now, you're going to interlock the fingers and support your head and neck. We're going to curl up so that you are sliding your chest bone towards your pubic bone, looking through the thighs. You should be able to see the elbows through the sides of your eyes. Now, we're going to take the left leg forwards and rotate over to the right. Right, so it's the opposite arm to leg here, if that's making any sense for you at home, hopefully. And then we rotate back to center. When I rotate to the left, my right leg is going to dip forwards, and then I come back to center. And rotate and center. Rotate and center. So I'm not lengthening back to the floor, I'm just coming back to my center line so that my belly has to work that little bit harder, right? No breaks. Because it is day 5 and we're getting full body flow. Hopefully you've built up a little bit of strength and resistance here. And if not, you're going to feel that shaking in your abs, which is absolutely fine as well, as long as you're breathing. And 3, 2, 1, come back to center, hold, legs extend. I don't mind if your toes are pointed or feet flex, whichever feels better for you. But here we are going to drop the legs down and lifting back up. And drop the legs down and lifting back up. And of course you're going to catch the weight of the legs with your belly, which drills in to help support you and your low back. Right, so you should not be feeling strain here. 3, 2, now see if you can take the legs all the way down to the floor, and you relax the head back, arms extend overhead. Right, so as the arms are reaching, again watch for the ribs, they try and flare here, so if you need to lift the arms up a little bit higher to soften the ribs down, go for it, and that'll be your start position. So we're going to try and roll up. Your hands float up to shoulder line, and here you're going to reach the arms forwards, curling up, scoop your belly in, and hopefully you come all the way up without cheating. Stacking up through the spine, so your shoulders are right over your hips. Now you're going to tip back from the pelvis, and we roll back 1 vertebra at a time, and the arms reach overhead. And again, we're curling up. Fine, and reach forward. You're going to get that stretch across the shoulder blades, which feels really nice. Stacking up nice and tall, shoulders over hips, and then you're rolling back down 1 vertebra at a time, reaching the arms overhead. And again, up and curl. Breathing in. We stack tall, exhale, scooping the belly in, rolling back with the pelvis, imprinting your spine into the floor, breathing in and breathing out. Reach, inhale, stack up tall, exhale, tilting back from the pelvis, inhale, arms reach, right, 1 more, breathing out, curling up, and this time you're going to hold halfway, so stay there. Now legs are long, and you lift one leg up, and more, and the other leg, and lower. And breathe as you flow. We're going to do 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring shoulders over your hips, stacking up tall, and let's cross the legs over. You're going to roll over your legs to pressing back into a down dog. Now, so your hands and feet are about hip width apart. You want to be pressing the chest towards your thighs. You've got this really nice long line with the body. If that's not happening for you and you feel a little bit more rounded, just soften the knees so you can tilt a little bit more through the pelvis, right? But if you have the range, try the straight legs. We're going to go from down dog into plank. So you're going to shift forwards, shoulders over your wrists, see nice big handprints, keeping the belly lifted. Now this time when you press back to your down dog, you're going to cross over, and it's again opposite arm to left. So I've got left arm to right ankle here. Now I'm going to come on back to my plank and then swap sides. And pushing back, this time my right arm goes to my left ankle, and then I come on back to plank. And we breathe. Now if you're not able to reach the ankle, just get to wherever you do. It's all good. There's no pressure. We're all different shapes, different sizes, different mobility in our body. It's all about moving and doing the best you can do. The spine stays neutral at all times. And of course your belly's going to stay lifted to give your back support at all times. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on back to plank. Now this time, big handprints. You're going to walk your hands back into your feet with the least amount of wobbling of the hips. Find the balance to your feet. We're in our forward. Belly is lifted here. You should feel that nice release into your low back. Taking a breath in. And breathing out, pressing into your feet, rolling through the pelvis, stacking all the way back up, just standing. We're back. Well done everyone. Again, I hope you enjoyed this challenge. If you want to see more from me, check out my website or my Facebook page.